Pause. Oh, Bobby Kotick.
The human dildo.
Oh, he's so terrible. And that's an insult to dildos. It's an insult to dildos. If I was a dildo and I heard you say that, I'd be like, hey. And that's how dildos talk. Hey, fuck off, bro.
I'm pretty sure that is the literal response that you had last time I mentioned him being a human dildo.
Did I?
We talked about him like 8 months ago or something along those lines.
What can I say? I'm nothing
That he was
predictable.
that he was an insult to dildos.
I am a creature of habit. He is. He's an insult to fucking He's an insult to anything you call him. Like, it's just terrible. It's terrible. The guy's garbage, man.
Garbage, you trash. You ain't ever gonna be nothing. Your
Right.
kids ain't be nothing. They're gonna have money out the ass, but they're never gonna be nothing.
Never gonna amount to nothing.
Nothing but the millionaires for no reason.
Right.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and you have chosen, for whatever reason, to tune into a horrible gaming podcast. But I am not alone, nor am I ever alone. With me is...
I gotta match your energy. Neil, aka Tiny Wizard.
What have
Did
we
I
tried?
sound sick? Did I sound sick?
We should try to do a whole episode in monotone, just like Steven write it the whole way. Like,
oh god,
video games are terrible. Cyberpunk is terrible.
I think
I
would
don't like things.
I would devolve into verbal fry. Is what I would do. That's inevitably what would happen.
All right. Well, as you guys can tell, I am a bit ill. So this episode, while we always say it and never commit to it, is
air horns. Anyways, continue.
Yes, that's hilarious. While we usually say we're gonna be short and then end up going long, we're probably actually gonna be short today because we're skipping a talking point. But we don't want to not put an episode out for you guys. We've missed very few weeks, and the weeks we've missed have been because we couldn't possibly make it. But we can this week, so we're going to do it. So, but before we get into the whole thing, let's do some credits. Number one, if you're watching this on YouTube, behind the fancy timestamps, you are watching fancy graphics. Some of those are straight thieved from the internet, but anything that was custom created was custom created by Mr. Mark Bell, and we thank him for that. And of course, the theme song for this show and all of the shows here at OMG are provided by the man who makes the music, my brother, Nick Van Sliders, and we thank him for that.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Brings us to our first segment, our most important segment, that's Fan Traction. That's where us, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans. We read out all your comments in all the different places. We riff on them. We talk about them. We also use one of them as our talk down, which we will still be doing this episode. It is already selected, and it's a fun one. But let's get into it, because Kev Too Tall starts us off. This is OMGW. We are fine. Now let's do the talking points. It's not OMGW. I just keep saying it. He then says, no, you didn't say it, but I felt like it was appropriate. OMGW.
That's how I know you're sick this week, is you didn't try to do it.
Well, OMGW should be back this Monday for OMGW fans. We should have our little Blaze Phillips, Ziggy Vans, they've made it back to the States from the Ukraine. They're healing. They're feeling better. They're rested up. They're ready to get back into the stand. So hopefully we can get them into the booth.
You know, I almost sent you a message when you sent that out too.
Yeah.
And ask you we're just jumping the shark and just going straight into like viral marketing campaigns and shit now.
I don't know what you're talking about. This wasn't a marketing campaign. These are two people's lives who were in danger, and we work with them. And while Ziggy Vans and I don't get along, we all know that he's a douche. We we are glad they're back, and we're glad they're healthy. So I don't know what you're talking about, Neil. I don't know what you're talking about. Shouldn't be so flippant about terrible things happening in the world. Um, Kev Tutal then continues. Those things that I say, that you say, usually are typed and entered before you say them. Duh. Okay. All right. Yes, because Kevin likes to type things immediately as we say it, and a lot of times we find the answer before they do. Because he then also posts, it was guts, which we figured out later.
Yeah.
And then he actually backs you up. He says, Gas was the segment that Guts, Legends of the Hidden Temple, and Double Dare were shown during. It did stand for games and sports. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. I do not remember it being called Gas. I definitely watched Guts and Legends when I was younger, but the idea that any company after the year of 1981 would ever decide to name anything on TV Gas is insane to me. Absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that is a very ballsy move, calling something gas. And
especially since it's for kids. It's like
expecting no pushback or anything from that.
It's like you picked an audience that's like made to make fun of that. First and foremost. Yeah, that's insane.
Watch the Fart Channel.
Right. It's absolutely insane. He then says it's all about the motion in the ocean, baby. All about that motion in the ocean. He then says, you will always be alone. Never will you be in reliable company. Thanks for that hopeless, bleak outlook, Kev.
God.
That's great. All right. Then William Hohen chimes in. Hi. Gotta love that hi. Thanks, Neil, for your Metroid Dread talk. Greatly appreciated. Zach, about the interrupting Neil thing, I always felt that was the concept of the show. Could you imagine if that was the actual concept? If that was the pitch, I was like, Neil, here's what's going to happen. You're going to start talking about something in an even keel, acceptable tone, and then I'm going to scream shit at you halfway through your sentence like an absolute lunatic. And you were like, yeah, that sounds like a great internet show.
And you never know when it's going to happen. It's just going to occur. So you just need to make sure you get your point out there as quick as you possibly can. And there I go.
It's worse than Jaws. Like, you don't even get the, dun noise, nothing. It's just out of nowhere, screaming crazy old man. That'd be absolutely insane. So, Will, no, that's not the concept of the show. I'm just very bad at being patient for my turn. I feel I've gotten better in the last year. I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress.
There have been, especially when we really get into stuff way early on, it was a year and a half ago when I first started doing this. We would be having our conversation. It would be somewhat of a heated debate, let's say. And I would be saying something, you would jut in with something, and I was like, I gotta just stop and let it happen. Because it will devolve very quickly. But it's not as, like you said, it's not as bad as it used to be. It's definitely not something that upsets me at this point.
It's
good. Expected.
I will say that is one of the things that makes you a perfect podcast co-host, is because of the way you interact with me on the show. Because if I picked anybody as crazy as I am, it would just be two people screaming at each other. It would be and it would be 4 episodes before it got personal, and then we never talk again. And I with you, it's like I'm gonna wait until he realizes he's yelling at me, and then he's gonna apologize. It's gonna be okay.
And then I'll get to say what I have to say, and it's great.
Right. He then says, "Oh yeah, Cyberpunk. Forgot that game existed, to be honest." And Zach, you were way too kind about CD Projekt Red. I don't know how to come up with a worse term than pre-shit. I thought that was about the height of evil that I could call them. Like natural fart lubricant that comes out of your butt before poop does. I don't know what I mean. I can't think of something worse to call them, so I don't know.
Zach,
I'll workshop it, Will. I'll workshop it.
You don't have much longer to workshop it because we'll be talking about CDPR later.
Oh, God damn it. I love this podcast, but sometimes, man, I just don't have the patience for the
You remember
gaming
that
industry.
time after the game came out, you said, okay, we're only going to talk about it this one more time, and I never want to talk about Cyberpunk ever again?
Yeah. And if I recall correctly, that was a super aggressive, crazy rant by me.
Oh, it was. It was. I remember you telling me too, like it just like elevated your heart rate just so much, even thinking about having to talk about it, and it was like actually getting toxic for you.
It is. It's very strange. This like the way this podcast works. It really is like a slow decline into madness. Like it's like if you watch those first episodes of me. Like, even with Logan, I'm very, like, upbeat and happy, and I can't wait to do the show. Yay! And then, like, by now, it's just like, oh, CD Projekt Red. What am I? Oh, man. Bobby Kotick, CD Projekt Red, announced trailers. I don't know. It gets very frustrating sometimes. Neil, about the PS5, he continues. I'm sorry, we keep digressing in the middle of his post. Neil, about the PS5 at Best Buy, real life is super pay to win.
Yes. Unfortunately.
That needs to be a t-shirt. I would wear that t-shirt. That t-shirt that's a great saying.
It's actually funny because I was at work the other evening, and I'm like the nerd game guy at work, so if somebody has a question or whatever, and inevitably I work with a bunch of, women who are middle-aged and whatnot, or have children,
Right.
So inevitably the holiday season, when it gets to be that time, they'll start asking me questions about what they should get their kids, shit like that. And it's like, fine, I guess this is my curse to my cross to bear. But the one lady came up to me the other day. She's like, hey, so where can I go and get a PlayStation 5? And I laughed at her. And she asked me why I was laughing. And I told her she clearly doesn't know. You clearly don't know anything about anything. I told her that you're not getting one at all unless you take it from a corpse.
Right. You just look at her and be like, how good are you at sucking dick? Because that's about what you're going to have to do to get it. Because I don't know how else. Either that or like $1 million. The idea, I love too, because it's been a while since I've been in the workforce, just because of my familial situation. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you don't, it doesn't matter. But back when I did, I was the nerdy guy because I worked in a real estate office with a bunch of older ladies, and I love the effect when they come to ask you about that stuff and they ask you like a very simple question that actually has a very complex answer that they don't understand is going to be complex, and then you start to explain it to them and you just watch the color drain from their face.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to understand what you're saying to me. I love that. That's one of my favorite effects ever.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
All right. Continuing. So then he says, great show. Thanks a bunch. And then hashtag boycott Halo. I do the hashtag motion with my hands every time he does it too. Like in my house by myself. That's how I roll.
Alone in your basement?
Alone in my basement. I do the hashtag sign. I'm like, hashtag boycott Halo. Fuck yeah. Fuck them. I don't care how much people like that game. Fuck it. The way they've done everything is enough for me to never want to deal with that fucking company again. Now let's jump over Discord. Sorry, guys. Sorry, that's gonna happen sometimes. I can't avoid it. I got a Coke. I'm trying to keep from doing that. But all right. So Kev Tutal posted Hasbro unveils ultimate Nerf version of the Halo Needler gun. We're going to talk about that in the talk down, Kev. Congratulations. So we'll come back to that. And then he also posted, Bobby Kotick is a straight up alien. Look at this fucking picture. And then he posted a picture of Bobby Kotick.
Well,
and he does look like an alien.
Did you catch the news story attached to that picture as well?
I did. I didn't read it.
So, long story short, he just keeps catching more and more shit for everything.
Right.
And he claims that he's going to be working for minimum wage until everything is all sorted out and like equal rights and equality are ensured for all of the employees at Activision Blizzard, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure,
man.
Whatever.
Okay.
And they ended forced arbitration as well. So that's a good thing, at least.
That's a really good thing.
Not willingly, I'm sure.
I mean, the fact that they were able to end forced arbitration gives a lot of hope to the workers. And I had talked to you a little bit about this. I can't remember if it was on the podcast or off, but Melissa's a paralegal, and we had talked about a little bit about how terrible just that situation is. So the fact that they're ending forced arbitration, I think, gives a little bit of hope to the workers' side. I do want to say, the whole minimum wage thing is a stunt. Guys and gals, for the last 10 years, this guy has been making upwards of $200 million a year. A year, okay, for like 10 years. He could work for zero money for the rest of his life and still be rich.
Money.
Not one single money. Not one single money of any kind. And he would still be balls to the wall 70 times richer than you are now. So that to me seems like a stunt. If this guy really wanted to get my attention, and here's the thing. First of all, I do want to say one thing. This is going to sound crass, but it's just a reality of things. When you get richer, your cost of living goes up. Okay? So like when you buy the bigger house, it costs more money to live in the bigger house. It costs more money to pay for the things that you have. That's just true. So I don't necessarily fault this guy for being rich. The amount of money this man has, he could buy America 6 times over. Like that's the problem I have. It's not that he's rich. It's that he's like so rich that him, his children, and his children's children never have to work. Like think about how much money you pay in a month for you to never have to work. Okay? That's the problem with this guy. And if he really wanted to entertain me, like, fine, stay rich. Give your last year's salary to the workers. Split it between them. Split the $200 million through all the people who were sexually abused by your people. Instead of that, what was it, bullshit $13 million that they were offering?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Split your $200 million from last year. And I want to point out, he's been making $200 million for 10 years. Okay? So he still has what? Like 200 million times 9. I'm not going to do that math. I'm too sick. But split your 200 million from last year between all the workers who were sexually abused by your employees at your company that had no checks and balance, that was run irresponsibly. Okay?
Well, what's also worth
There's a
considering
start.
too. What's also worth considering too, unless I missed it somewhere in the article, this is just him changing his salary again. This has no effect on the bonuses, anything along those lines. So again, it's something to play for a headline.
So he's still going to make $100 million next year.
He's actually only losing, because we talked about this before. He was only getting, he took a pay cut down to like $100,000 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and that wasn't even a fraction of what he was actually making due to the bonus and pay structure with stock options and this performance bonuses, yada, yada, yada. The list goes on. So I think that's more for headlines than that part of it.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the problem. Like, I mean, this sounds really nice, but at the end of the day, this guy has more money than fucking God. Like, so, like, what's that? What's not taking? That's basically just like video gaming is a hobby now for him. Like, that's like, it's not going to hurt him in any way, shape, or form. So, like, that kind of stuff, like, he's not putting himself in an uncomfortable position. He's just doing this to get better PR for his situation.
Right.
All right, well, that's fan traction. You want to head over to the talk down?
Sure.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
That brings us to the talk down. Talk down is where we take one of your comments and we expand it into a nice, tight 10-minute spot. And Kev we decided to do a fun one this week. Hasbro unveils the ultimate Nerf version of the Halo Needler gun. This is cool. They already did the assault rifle. Now they're doing the Needler, and I think it's just so cool that they're doing this. I mean, are you gonna get this when it comes out?
I'm seriously considering it because, like you said, I do have the assault rifle. I have the Nerf gun assault rifle.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And that Needler, I really want it, but there's a couple things. One, it's $100.
Oh, yeesh. That's a lot.
So
I didn't
there's
see that.
And it doesn't even ship until holiday season next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, it is billed as like a collector's item sort of situation. So, I mean, it is high quality. Like the needles sticking out of the top of it and everything, and from what I believe it does the sounds and everything like that too for when you're firing. So it is almost like cosplay prop level, which is all right. I'll give them that for $100. I mean, but whether or not I'm actually going to buy it for $100, I mean, yeah, I would.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah, I would love to, but I mean, I spent $60 on the assault rifle. So
yeah, I won't buy this because I just don't collect those kinds of things. Although I will say Nerf is one of the only things that I've always wanted to collect, but never did. You know, because they just keep getting cooler and cooler.
Yeah, they do.
Just keep cool. And I like guns just in general. Like I'm a lover of guns. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody out there. I know a lot of people just gasped at that. I'm not a crazy person. Not a crazy person, but but I think those are just so cool. They're like really cool toy like they make them so cool and different, and the way they make a dart gun, like all sorts of different things. I think it's just so cool. So let's expand this a little bit though. What gun from video games would you want to see Nerf do that hasn't already been done?
See, that's the thing is when I went into this, I was like, perfect. I already have mine. I own it. I don't know. Nothing immediately jumps to mind. I mean, I think maybe more of the Halo weapons would be fun. I know they do, what's it called? They do Fortnite stuff. If I remember correctly, they do a gun from Aliens as well. But, man. You know what? I got one.
Okay.
I know they've done like a bow and arrow situation in the past, long ago. I don't think they still do them.
No, they do.
If they were to do Aloy's bow,
that would be cool. That's a good pick,
yeah.
Man. That's
I would definitely, I would 100% pick that up.
That would be a really cool. That would be a really cool pick. I have one, and it's a little bit more obscure. I'm posting a couple pictures to Discord for you to look.
Okay.
Monster Hunter. So I know you never played Monster Hunter,
right.
But they have two long range weapons. They have a light bow gun and a heavy bow gun, and the heavy bow gun is just this cool like giant. Like there's a lot of different types of them, but it's like a cool giant like sniper rifle, but like out of your wildest dreams. You can see the images I've posted to your Discord now.
I don't see that.
Oh shit! I posted them in the podcast thread by accident, so everybody can see them. If you want to see the images, they're in the podcast.
If you want to know what this is about, you better listen to the podcast.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Go into the podcast
right.
thread.
Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, I'm in there now. Okay.
Tell me those aren't cool. And they always fold in half like that and go on the back. So they like click in place. And I think that would be really cool for Nerf if you could like click it into place and then fires like big Nerf darts at people. I think that would be cool as hell. Like absolutely cool as hell.
Ooh, you know what though? They've also done before. Nerf used to do, I don't think they do it so much anymore, but like actually like Nerf like melee weapons.
Oh,
They
I didn't know
used to
they
do
did
them.
that.
I don't know if they still do them because I had a battle axe situation back in the day.
That's cool.
If they did like the gravity hammer from Halo,
Mm.
that would be fun. Just running around with that thing.
That would be fun. That would be fun. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. Still dealing with stuff.
Just please don't puke. That's all I ask. Please do not puke because I don't handle that stuff well. I'm one of those chain reaction people. Like you puke, I'm gonna do it. That's all people are gonna hear.
If
It won't be pleasant.
If I puke, it won't be on mic. I promise you. Oh, I've got another one. I'm looking it up right now, and I'll show it to you. The blunderbuss from Sea of Thieves would be really cool. Like a blunderbuss. Like I don't think they've ever done one of those before.
Are you just keeping with the trend of putting it in the podcast one?
Yeah, might as well. Then people
I was about to say you
actually
should,
get to,
so
like,
that way everyone. Well,
we'll get to
if
know
anybody
what
goes
we were
in there,
looking
be
at.
like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, it's fun. So this is just the Victoria's Sea Dog blunderbuss, but I think one of those would be really cool. Like
That would definitely that's very nerfy.
Yeah,
that's very nerfy.
They have a lot of crazy inlay stuff, which would be really cool as well. It'd be really cool. All right, well, I think we covered Talkdown. You want to move on? We're just gonna move into odds and ends, guys. Just gonna move right into odds and ends, and then we're probably gonna wrap it up. Like I said, short show today because I gotta go to sleep. I gotta go back to sleep for like a day because Trick or Treat is on Sunday, and I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, you better be ready for that to spread your germs amongst the masses.
Well, hopefully. Well, I wear a mask. I wear a mask everywhere I go. But hopefully I'll be getting over it by then. So my fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed. All right. So.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right. So that brings us to odds and ends. We're skipping the talking point today. Odds and ends is where we take smaller news stories that don't necessarily deserve an entire talking point, and we just tell you guys about them. We give you the news, we riff about them, we give our points of view on them and stuff like that. So I have 5. How many do you have?
I've got 4, so go ahead and start us off.
It's me first. Well, I'm going to carry on with what was going on last week, but a lot of people are reporting serious expansion pack issues.
You got one of mine.
I thought I was gonna. From the newly created expansion pass. Anybody who's wondering, the expansion pass. And you didn't listen to last week's show, the expansion pass is Nintendo. They added the 64 and Genesis games to the online services, as well as a DLC that shouldn't matter, and jacked up the price like a ton. But now it's not working so good. Serious frame rate dips, disconnections, stuff like that have been reported. Nintendo's notoriously bad at customer service, like fixing stuff in post. So we're gonna have to monitor that, I think.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the videos that people have posted of these issues?
I have not seen any of the videos. I read the story on it.
Oh boy, howdy!
I read the story on it, but I didn't see any of the videos.
Oh, it is exceptionally bad. Exceptionally bad. One of the videos that I had seen of somebody, they were playing Ocarina of Time, and it was simply young Link in Kakariko Village putting his sword away. His torso disappeared, and he's walking forward, and as he's walking, just walking, the frame rate slowly starts tanking more and more and more to the point that it completely freezes and crashes out the game completely. Like kicks back to the yeah. So for Nintendo's defense of this, I will say, from what I understand, the development process for the Nintendo 64 was weird. So emulation of these games is kind of like per game, from what I understand. That also said, there are a lot of other, be it third-party / illegal emulators that you can get online, and even Nintendo's emulation for the Virtual Console from the Wii and Wii U outshine the Switches. So when we say it's bad, it is not just like, oh well, it's okay. It's bad. So we will see if they do anything with it, or they just say screw it and let it ride and just be like, yeah, you guys want this anyways. This is the only way you can get it unless you own the carts, so deal with it. I personally have not jumped on getting this upgrade just yet, just because the game selection, there's only 9 games for the 64 that are coming out with this. Some of which, just like the Mario 64, just came out on the Mario 3D All-Stars, was it last year?
Right.
So a lot of people who have the Switch already have that anyways. So right. I don't know. It's going to be a wait-and-see situation for me, unless, well, not unless, once the Animal Crossing DLC comes out, I'm sure I'm going to end up pulling the trigger on that for Kayla. But outside of that, yeah, I personally would hold off if you were considering getting this expansion pass. Outside of that, I haven't heard anything about the Sega Genesis games. I know the key bindings for the 64 games are apparently bizarre, but the 64 controller was a janky controller to begin with, so I mean, there's that, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely wait on it. It's definitely a rough situation.
Oh yeah,
especially when, I mean, I gotta say, like, I already had a problem with them jacking the price up as much as I did.
Right.
I've said that repeatedly. We talked about it last week, but I gotta say, if you are gonna jack the price up that much, you gotta get it right the first time. You gotta get it right the first time. You can't come out the gate with broken ass shit to people who have paid that $150%, the 150% markup, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm very, very upset with that thing, just in general.
Yeah.
Well,
perfect segue, I suppose. Speaking of broken disappointments, I've already alluded to it. So, CD Projekt Red has already pushed back the next-gen updates for Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we very well could potentially be seeing the end of this whole Cyberpunk saga, because apparently, not only are they pushing back the next-gen updates, but CD Projekt Red is pushing back Cyberpunk 2077's updates in general. Patches and everything along those lines as well until 2022. So Cyberpunk will be receiving no more updates in 2021.
Yep.
So
I just want to say, probably because I'm sick and I'm in a crappy mood, but I told everybody so. Cyberpunk is not going to give you anything more. Period. They're done. It's done. Fucking thing's dead. They lied to you, and we all have to move on with our lives. Like, that's what it is. They got away with it. They lied to us. They fucked us over, and we all have to live with in the world post Cyberpunk fucking us.
And what's wild about this whole saga too is all the other collaborations and everything that they were set up with. There was wasn't there a clothing line they were working with? And I know they were doing an anime for Netflix, if that's even still going to be a thing.
Fucking Tesla made a truck, for Christ's sakes.
Well, the Cybertruck that's its own. It just happens to be called the Cybertruck.
Right.
I don't think that's correlated. But I mean,
I don't know. The fact that it came out alongside of it, basically, is weird to me.
That's that's just coincidence. But I mean,
There are no fucking coincidences. None.
At the same time,
I don't believe in them anymore.
You don't believe in coincidences?
I don't believe in them anymore. It's all bullshit. It all happens. They had planned it all. Fucking, it's all a fucking conspiracy.
All right. Well, with that, go on ahead with your next one. I'm now down one because of the Nintendo overlap.
I'm skipping one because I think I might steal two of yours too. But so I'm gonna skip one.
Okay then. Well,
I'm gonna go ahead and segue since CD Projekt Red just bought a company.
Oh.
Molasses Flood. Molasses Flood. It was a pleasure knowing your quality products such as The Fire and the Flood and what was it? Is Drake's whatever. Drake's Hollow. And Drake's Hollow. It was a wonder to know you guys as an indie company. Now that you're under CD Projekt Red, you fucked. You fucked. So have fun with that. Have fun being under those shitty people. And they are also under them to work on, if I recall correctly, a Witcher product of some sort. So sorry, Molasses Flood. We hardly knew you.
Yeah. I'm baffled now with this whole CD Projekt Red situation. Just the moves that they're making, and I don't know what their plan is and what they have in the pipelines. If they're just that gutsy with what they're have going on. And I just saw something the other day too. Something along the lines of they said that they're working on a new project as well.
Oh yeah.
No formal announcement, thanks sweet Christ. There's that at least. But yeah, no formal announcement of what, but yeah, we're working on something new. Like, what the fuck? How about you fix your last blunder?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
Honestly, at this point, if the next gen update does come out, that's fine. You guys can stop. You can be done. You don't have to keep proving to us that you can, quote, do the thing. Like,
they can't do the thing. You've already failed to do the thing. There is no proving that you can do the thing. You failed to do the fucking thing. You failed. It's over. You're fuck. Just give us all our money back.
Is us Zach?
Yeah, us Zach. I want my fucking money back. I don't want to play your shitty game. I don't want it. And man, I tell you, I was listening to Game Scoop again. I've been trying to dip back into Game Scoop again because they just piss me off so much now.
Really?
Because I know the industry. And like now that I've been in it for a while, I listen to them and I'm like, you dumb motherfuckers. Like, you are all dumb. You're dumb and you're living in a different world than the world we are in. Like I don't know. And they started talking about how much they enjoyed Cyberpunk. I was like, holy shit. I fucking hate you guys right now. Like,
to be fair, like I said too, like I enjoyed what I played of it. I don't regret playing it, but like at the same time, I also can see that it's a buggy, broken mess, and I also know that I'm probably never going to go back to it. Maybe if they had the next gen update, I'll dip my toe back in and see what's different. But yeah, I don't think, even though the game is objectively bad and everything, and like the development process, not the actual like what the game is, but what we were given, if that makes sense.
That's my biggest problem. My biggest problem is not the game and how the game came out. My biggest problem is the fact that they lied to us. They lied to us for months and months and months about what that game is and what it was supposed to deliver. It did not deliver on the product that it promised us. That's my problem with it. It's not even that it's necessarily a bad game. I mean, it was objectively terrible on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We can all agree on that. But and honestly, I thought it was a buggy mess on PC, although everybody says it's great. I don't think it was. I thought it was a buggy mess. But nonetheless, it did not give us what we were supposed to get. It did not give us the freedom that they said. It didn't give us the character development that they said. It didn't give us the AI that they promised. That game is heaps and mounds different. Well, not different, less than what they were billing it as. And that's my problem with it. That's my problem with it.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I can't get angry. My voice is like fucking stopping.
Yeah, I can appreciate it for what it was and the time that I had with it. But then at the same time, like, I'm also thinking about the stupidity of like the next to last boss. When I fought him, he just glitched into the sky and just stood there.
Right.
So like, there's that too.
Well,
So,
I told you what I encountered on PC.
yeah.
Two game-breaking bugs on PC where it was supposed to be a 9 out of 10 according to IGN.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking back on that now, especially 9 out of 10. Oof.
Yeah, that's my big
now.
problem. We have been conditioned to be okay with the level of crap that they give us on a AAA level. Like, you boot up a game, and you are expecting there to be bugs in it. You're expecting to have to reset it at least once or twice. You're expecting to have to jump out of it. That frustrates me on a level that we have literally been preconditioned that we are paying the most amount of money for something and it is going to come in box broken. That fucking pisses me off. And it's really getting to a point where I can't buy AAA games anymore. Like, I've avoided them because of this thought process. And I tell you what, man, I don't understand why I can get a game for like $40 or $30 from a AA developer, and none of it's broken. Like, why is that? Like, what? Like, we're literally paying more for the shittier games.
Yeah.
And I'm so frustrated with it. So frustrated with it on a whole. Can I tell you something? I have a note here, one of my odds and ends.
Oh.
That just says 2 expansions 400. So I don't know what the fuck that is. I've been while we've been talking, I've been scrolling through IGN stories to see where I pulled that from. I have no idea what that means. 2, the number 2, then the word 2, expansions, then the number 400. I have no fucking idea what that is. So I do have a different odds and ends to put in that place, but I don't know what that is. So if that means anything to anybody, we were going to report on it. I don't know what it is though. All right, so that was mine. So it's your turn.
All right. You had asked me if Metroid Dread is something that you would enjoy, and I told you you'd have to try it for yourself. Well,
I don't know.
Guess what?
What?
There is a demo out for Metroid Dread.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
I'll try
anyone who is curious about it can go ahead and download the demo for Metroid Dread.
How long is the demo? Did they say?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I read that and was like, yeah, I'm going to make that an odd and end. And I did not read the rest of the article.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Strictly just because it's like, I don't need to download the demo. I have the game. And let me tell you, I'm still in it, and it's still great. Still great.
I got to say, Neil, one thing that has definitely worked against you, because I was like, maybe I'll get it if there's like a sale on it at some point or something. But Adam Sessler didn't like it, and I got to say, if he doesn't like something, I'm probably not going to like it. Our tastes with that usually align, and everything he said, I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't. But if there's a demo, I'll definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I saw that he put a video up about it, and I was going to watch it, but at the same time, I'm nervous for spoilery stuff. So
I didn't notice any spoilery stuff in there.
Well, the thing is, like, I think I'm maybe about halfway through. I'm not going through it as fast as I want to be.
It's not long. But they do say how long it is, and it's not long.
Yeah, I know it's supposed to be like somewhere around like 11 hours or something, I heard. But yeah, I was watching. I watch Zero Punctuation every week, and that's one of the ones I was like, oh, Metroid Dread, and I was gonna give it a listen because he's usually not too spoilery, and he like explicitly said if you don't want to know about anything, spoilers, I guess. And I had to rip my earbud out of my ear because I was like, nope. And from there, I haven't attempted to watch or read anything about it.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I would go back and watch it. I think kind of everything Adam Sessler said, I'm like, those are all the problems I had with the original Metroid when I quit playing Super Metroid. So maybe I shouldn't try this. And I guess like he had Gerard, the completionist, on, because now what he does is he has another co-host to like talk about it with at the end, which I really appreciate. It kind of gives like another point of view, and Gerard loves the game, so like it was kind of like a spirited back and forth between them. But yeah, it's funny because he the way he talks about it, I'm like, man, this is funny. This is exactly what I went through with when I said Monster Hunter Rise isn't that good, because he got like really dumped on online when he said he didn't like it.
There's one gripe that I do have with Dread, and it's not anything that's like the end of the world, but I mean, I guess it's kind of light spoilery ish, so not really, but if you care about these things, just jump ahead like 2 minutes. So the system that you use like to change between the beams that you have, because you have like your regular beam and then you have the grapple beam that you get eventually.
Right.
You have to hold different combinations of buttons to do things. And when you're fighting the Emmy, you have to hold your left bumper to be able to aim at the Emmy. And then eventually you'll have to hold the right bumper to fire a charged shot. But you have to use the right trigger to use your beam.
Right.
So there's one particular Emmy that you have to run away from and put some distance between you, and you have to use a combination of all three of those different the triggers and bumpers in a certain order to be able to like kind of line up your shot and be able to get through. And that kind of irked me a little bit because you're in a panicked state to some degree when you're being chased. And it's like, you don't have time to stop and think, but you're pushing and holding different triggers in different orders while pushing buttons at the same time. It's weird. It's a weird finger dance that you have to do.
Right.
But that was the only time that I was kind of like, but it wasn't anything that hung me up too long in that period. It was just like, oh wow, this is kind of annoying, and that was it.
Okay, well, I will definitely try it with the demo. I'll say that. I'll try it with the demo, and then
what do you got to lose?
Yeah, I got nothing to lose now. I'll definitely give it a shot. Maybe even do a review if it's long enough. The demo is, but we'll see. That was yours, right? This is my turn?
Yes, that was mine.
All right, so Xbox Game Studios is reportedly working on a cloud-based MMO that can be played on almost any device. So this is really interesting, and this is my replacement for whatever the fuck I was writing with the other one.
Code.
Yeah, right. Basically, what it will do is the idea behind it is like you do smaller, crappier tasks through your mobile phone, and then larger, like more story-inclusive missions will be played on the console or the PC. So like it'll be kind of like a hybrid. I thought this is a really interesting way to do stuff like this because I don't think people have really like. Unfortunately, mobile has a lot of potential for games, but it is a space that is almost wholly possessed by bullshit shovelware and crap games. So I would really love to see like a more I don't know, foundationally fun experience on your phone. And this is an interesting idea, I think.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I would welcome something like that, to be able to do like small little side gigs on your phone and then actually do like main questy stuff on the game, or like even if it's something like if it were to be like traveling between locations, let's say like there's no fast travel,
right?
You have to manually walk. It's like, well, walking 3 real world miles would get you to this location or something like that. Shit like that. Cool. I love that sort of shit.
I'd love to see it if the game had any sort of like base building or personnel management. Like, I'd love to see that on the phone, and then the game or console itself, you would like go out and do things. So like whatever you did, like, oh, I'm gonna do this so that I can craft these things, and I can do this so that I can like build this armor, and then when I get on the console, I don't have to worry about doing all that bullshit crafting stuff. I did all that on my phone. That was fun there. But now I'm here and I can just go into the really cool big mission. I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be about it.
All right, your move.
Okay, so my last one. So I don't know if you heard about this, but Ubisoft is doing something very bizarre when it comes to Far Cry 6.
I'm so glad this is your last one.
Your laugh tells me that you know what this is already. But
yeah, I was actually going to use this as a replacement if you stole the other one I was going to talk about. But
so, in a very strange, I don't even know what to call it. I wouldn't even consider it a marketing campaign.
No, it's weird.
I think it's like a push, I guess, like a weird evolution of trying to push engagement. Let's put it that way with a game.
It's like online bullying.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
it's weird.
Ubisoft is sending out official emails seemingly coming from the main villain of Far Cry 6. Taunting them for not playing the game enough.
Yeah.
Saying things like, surely you can do better than this. And thanking you for letting him run wild on the island.
Yeah.
It tracks the amount of time you've played and total kills.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird, and I don't like this.
I don't like it either.
This is, for all of the gripes that I have about live service stuff, I can respect its place. I can respect that it is a thing that people enjoy. It is just not my thing. But this, to try to push engagement, I think it's because it's like a single player thing for the most part. I mean, there's a little bit of co-op, but to try to push engagement, that's what they're doing. And I don't hey, like, what the fuck is next? Text messages, phone calls? Am I getting a letter sent to my house?
Well,
hey,
and what's weird,
this game in a while?
I love the idea that it tracks your stats, because I love looking at my stats in post. Like, I love to see, oh, I've played it for this amount, and I've killed this many people, and I've done this many outposts or missions. I love looking at that stuff. What I don't like specifically about this is it's so fucking negative. Like, it just is. It's not like, hey, this is how much you've played Far Cry 6. Want to play some more? It's like, hey, you didn't play enough. Play more. You suck. Like, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of the game sending me taunt emails or anybody. That's just, I don't know. I don't like this because it's, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be a bitch about it or something, but like, I don't think that that's cool to just like negatively attack anybody who played your game for 10 minutes and then stopped playing. Maybe they didn't like the game. And now they've got to get emails for the next like month, basically telling them they're stupid for not like playing the game more.
Well, while we're kind of on the subject,
sure,
there's a very real possibility that people just don't like the game. I know it reviewed okay, but Kayla's playing it on the PS5 right now, and I've watched her play it a little bit. The graphics do not look PS5. We have the PS5 version. The graphics, it almost looks like end of PS3 in some cases, honestly. And it's just more Far Cry. It's more Far Cry in a different locale. If it works, it works. You know, if people eat it up, that's fine. But I mean, I would not begrudge somebody for, you know, playing it and being like, nah, this isn't my bag, and just putting it up.
But apparently the game will begrudge you that.
But that's the thing, though, is the game is going to tell you that you're basically a bitch for walking away from the game. Like, that's beyond what I'm okay with personally.
I agree. I'm very upset by it. Well, I'm not very. It's annoying. It's a stupid thing that they shouldn't have done, basically.
Yeah.
In my opinion. My opinion. All right, so I got two left then.
All right. Yep. The
Yippee
floor is all
skippy.
yours.
All right. Well, number one, I actually had this on my list before you posted something about it in Discord, which is why I thought it was going to be on your odds and ends. But this is a really interesting thing because there have been a increase in Smash-like games.
Oh yeah.
Like Smash Brothers like
thing.
games. We just got the Nickelodeon one. From what I understand, did okay. It's like not a replacement, but it's nice.
Yeah.
But now we've just got news that the people who made the Mortal Kombat guys, NetherRealm, I think it is. NetherRealm is making a Smash-like fighter that includes WB characters. So like Batman, Gandalf, like anything in a Warner Brothers movie basically could show up in this game.
Now, that link that I shared, originally in the post, it showed an original tweet and then a retweet under it.
Mm-hmm.
The original tweet with the picture of the proof of it was removed for copyright claim. So that can mean only one thing.
Right.
Because the reply tweet at the point that I posted that at least still had the image up.
Right.
I don't know if it's still up or not, but yeah. So am I don't know. This is weird, but like, I know they've tried stuff like this before, but am I the only one that's like baffled that now is the time that all the Smash clones are coming out?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange to me. I'm very baffled by this. I'm also baffled by the tone. Like, it'd be one thing if it was just a straight fighting game, but like to make it Smash like is very like I don't know that I want to see those characters in that kind of like. Do you want to see Scorpion in a fucking Smash Brothers game? I don't want to see Scorpion in a Smash Brothers game. Like, I don't know.
No.
I'm very confused by the tone of it as well, and what it could possibly look like in the end. You know.
Well, I'm a sucker for crossovers, anyways. So
I mean, it's interesting. I'm not saying it's not interesting. I'm not saying I'm against it. It's just it's a very I don't know. I don't think I'm explaining myself right. I didn't want to interrupt you. I just don't feel like I'm getting my point across. It's who came up with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it was some suit somewhere, and the only reason that I can think of that this is all happening now is because we've already got the official word that, you know, Sora is the last character in Smash Ultimate. They're done. Smash Ultimate might get like a balance patch or something along those lines. Right. But outside of that, there will be no more content added to the game.
Right.
So I think maybe all of these companies have been sitting on this, seeing how well Smash Ultimate did, say, hey, this is something that people want. We're going to wait until they're done because we know it takes them a hot minute to put another one out. And they're going to try to, you know, get in on that market while Smash has its downtime. That's the only thing that I can think of.
That's an interesting theory. I don't know. I don't know that anybody in the gaming industry sits on anything that they're gonna do anymore. Like, I feel like
that's true.
They're all scrambling to get things done at all times. It always feels like a desperate rush, but it's still a very interesting theory. I'm not trying to knock it or argue with it. I think it's a very interesting theory. I think that you're definitely right. Like, they definitely are like, Smash Brothers is the only thing in this space that leaves an opening for other things to be in this space, you know?
Right.
So, like, Smash Brothers has this space. It has these certain characters. We can bring characters to a game like that. People might come over for those characters. So, like, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more clones over the years. I mean, we've gotten a couple, but like I'm surprised we haven't seen more big name clones come out. We're only now seeing them, but I don't know. The concept is really weird to me because almost every character they've talked about is a very serious, down to earth, gritty character. Like the Smash Brothers game is fun because they're Nintendo characters, and so it's a fun Nintendo-y thing. Like even when you add some of the other characters that do get a little bit gritty, a lot of them still end up being fun in the long run.
Yeah.
What is this game gonna look like? Are you gonna have weird platforms hanging over like Gondor? And
Probably.
what will the power ups be like? Because the power ups in Smash, like everything in Smash, is presented very silly, and that works for what it is. The same with the Nickelodeon one, that can do it as well because it's a very like it's a silly concept to have like platforms that you're trying to knock people off of. Like even Brawlhalla, which is more serious than the others, is still a little bit more tongue in cheek. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell, even just the art style is. So like I have a hard time seeing like a like a little chibi Gandalf fighting fucking Batman v Superman Batman who like kills people with a shotgun. Like like what is that? What is that? You know what I mean? Like what does that look like in the space of this specific genre? Like, can you make a serious version of this kind of game? And I don't think you can. And all these characters that they've announced are very serious characters.
Well, I mean,
like I don't want to see Gandalf make weird puns about knocking a guy off a platform. Like it's just like I don't want to see tongue-in-cheek versions of any of these characters.
yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how it turns out.
Yeah.
The Nickelodeon one, it didn't really grab me as something that I was really interested in.
No, but it makes sense though, right? Like
right, yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, I agree with that.
Like whereas this doesn't thematically, at least to me.
I'm curious to see how this turns out. It could be something if they do it with some manner of quality.
Also, I want to say right now, Mortal Kombat is an excellent fighter. I cannot imagine that team doing a Smash game, so I'm very interested to see what that looks like. Like, I mean, this will be this is stepping way outside their comfort zone, and maybe that's good since they've basically just been doing fighters for the last 2 decades. But I mean, this is something. This is an undertaking for them.
Yeah.
All right, last one. It's a quick one, but I decided to put it in here because it's weird that Nintendo would delay something. They almost never delay their games, even their like second party games. Usually, like they don't announce them until they're ready to put them out. But Advanced Wars, the Perfect Collection, the remaster collection that's coming out on Switch, which collects the first game and the second game, has been delayed from this year into 2022. I think early 2022. Yeah, which is rare. Nintendo almost never delays things. Like that's extremely strange for Nintendo to delay anything. But yeah, they're delaying it. They say they need more time to polish it and put it on the market. I mean, you know me, I hate delays, but whatever. Do what you got to do, but
yeah, it doesn't feel egregious either because, like you said, Nintendo doesn't really normally do this sort of stuff. The last big profile delay that I remember was
Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was, which was before the Switch even came out.
Yeah, that was the last one that I really recall. I mean, I'm sure there's probably been something since.
And honestly, that delay, I still tinfoil hat on. I think that delay totally had to do with the fact that they were trying to push it. Like they were like, "Hey, Wii U sucks ass. It's never gonna sell. Take as much time as you want because we've got the Switch coming out and we want you to put it on the Switch." So they were like, just the closer it can come out to Switch release, the better, But yeah, that's the last big delay. They don't delay, so you kind of have to give them a little leeway. But I mean, still, I have a hard stance on don't give us dates if you don't know dates. Period. And you gave us dates, and then you changed them. No, so shame on you, Nintendo. I will say you don't do this often, so I'm just going to give you a warning. But not that I could do it.
Doug Bowser, you've been put on notice.
Yeah.
You've been put on notice. So.
You don't want my anger, baby. I make up weird things to call you when you get on my bad side.
And then I have to yell saltines at him.
Yeah, and if you're not bothered by a podcast that gets roughly 20 listens a week, well, then you're probably okay, because that's all we can do. So that's my last one. You ready to get to plugs? Get out of here a little bit early.
Sure.
Get out of here a little bit early.
Only a little bit. Only a tiny bit early.
Yeah, I know. I know. It always works that way.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
That brings us to the end of the show. Shameless self-promotion that comes with it. It is still a half an hour earlier, basically. We did talk a little bit extra for those odds and ends, I think, but
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, Neil, you got anything special you want to plug?
Well, technically we don't have anything to plug for it right now, but I'm gonna plug it and give a little behind-the-scenes info and a baby
Rage. Yeah, Rage. I knew this was
the
coming.
Master Chief Collection sucks so much. Oh my god! Like I can deal with it. I can deal with it for the most part. Little behind-the-scenesy sort of stuff. Last week, at the time you were listening to this, week we were going to set up and start getting ready to do season 4 of Master Chief Collection.
Season 5.
Or season 5. Damn it!
ODST was season 4. It was season 4.
Wait, it is season 4?
ODST. ODST was. Listen to the words coming out of my fucking mouth. ODST was season 4. You've called it. You keep trying to forget that we just played it. You're trying to forget we just played it.
That's what's happening.
I'm gonna talk over all the story points in Reach. So just like you did with ODST. So I hate it too.
Aw, you're too kind to me.
You started it. You hated on my game first. How dare you dislike Halo Noir?
Look, dude, you can sprint in this one. So
all
your prayers are
it
answered.
does get points. Does get points there.
But anyways, went to go load up beforehand because I always have this terrible, terrible feeling that we're gonna get stuck behind an update. Sure enough, because I hadn't played the game since the Season 8 update, I had to go in there and update it. But what is very interesting, for some unknown reason, the game would not update. I opened the game, it did not register that there was an update, but there was a lot of weird, basically like code, I guess, like placeholder images, stuff like that, and I'd seen this before. I knew I needed an update. I messaged Zach, say, hey, there's an update. His updated because my computer hates me, apparently. And I had to manually go through the Microsoft Store and update it. And, dude, I got to tell you, it took longer than that 45 minutes I was anticipating.
I want to point out,
2 hours.
This is the second time it's happened to you, and it happened to me once. For whatever reason, the Master Chief Connection, because it's Master Chief Collection sucks. It doesn't like communicate it right. Like you could start it up the day before, and like every time we're starting a season, I'm like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Doesn't matter how much we check this game, we're gonna have. Like I wasn't even pissed. I was like, yeah, fine. We'll do it next week.
Yeah. So we are another week without Halo Infinite Road. We will hopefully. It's updated now, unless they do a dumb little patch that'll take me another 2 hours to update it. But we should be ready to go. So we should be recording at the time you are listening to this soon this week. So hopefully we'll have this.
If I can rush it. If I can rush it, because we usually record the night before, it would have to go up. If I can rush it, I will try and get it out.
I tell you, you're a crazy person with that. We
had
this conversation before. I would not, bro. I would just take the time. Because sometimes, little behind the scenes with this, we record about 9:30 in the evening, roughly. And by the time we're done, it's somewhere around 11:30-ish, depending on how many we do, how it goes. Yeah, and if I edit it, that's been a thing. And if he edits it and everything too, he's going until like midnight, 12:30, something like that. And he's usually up in the morning.
It's usually 1 with export and import times.
Oh, that's right, exporting too. And then you got to set it to up
the edit actually the edit actually isn't that bad for these anymore, because we don't record the audio separate. I record it all through OBS on my computer, so the editing really isn't that bad. It takes me about 15 minutes. It's the exporting and importing times on that show that's just it's a fucking nightmare. So but it's fine. We'll figure it out. It'll either be up this week or the next week. But we'll definitely, Halo Reach Season 5. We're coming with it. We're coming. As far as me, I don't really have anything to plug. You know what? I'm gonna plug one thing because I really love this show. It's my favorite show that I'm recording right now. So I urge people to go check it out. So what I'm doing is it's called Epic OMG. You can watch me do it live on Twitch, but I also I also export it to YouTube and put it up on the Friday following whenever I record it. So the recording time is sporadic, but it always comes out on YouTube on Friday. You just can't interact with me. And basically what it is I take community members, I make them in Wildermyth, and then I play through the procedurally generated campaigns. Really fucking awesome. I did book 1, and I started that one with Seatown, Rain Dance Danny, and Jason. And then I added more characters to it from our community, and I make up voices for them, so that's a lot of fun. I basically insult all the people who watch our shows. But now I'm doing book 2, and I started it with Filthy Phil, Phil Billy, and Kev Tutal. So I love doing it. I love doing it. I love reading it. It's a lot of fun. The shows are anywhere between an hour and 2 hours once a week. So I urge people to go check that one out just because I'm really having fun doing it. I think that comes through when I'm doing things. And then of course OMGW is coming back. Ziggy Vans and Blaze Phillips are back in the States. We just got to get them in the recording booth. So it'll either be back this Monday or the Monday after that. And then we should be good. I've got all the stuff that I need. We should be good through the end of the season. Please check that out. As far as everything else, you can check out everything we have to offer here on the station. You can also check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/oldmangamingdh. Facebook is Old Man Gaming, also at Old Man Gaming DH. Twitter is Old Man Gaming 9. You can join our Discord. Links in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. And then as usual, guys, as long as you keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. We'll see you guys next week.